What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I'm the Renegade J.J. Williams, and today we're going to be talking about the 2010 film The Last Song, starring Miley Cyrus, Greg Kinnear, Liam Hemsworth, and Kelly Preston. How's it going, everybody? Thank you for joining me once again for this brand new episode of Renegades Reviews. I appreciate you guys tuning in every day. It's been a lot of work, but let's get right into it. The Last Song is based on a book, a novel by Nicholas Sparks, who also is responsible for The Notebook. So that right there just gives you its chick flick credentials. Let's get into the story. Miley Cyrus plays Veronica Miller, aka Ronnie. She's a rebellious 17-year-old girl, been that way for the past 3 years ever since her parents divorced and her dad moved away to Georgia. Ronnie used to be a piano prodigy under the tutelage of her father, Steve, but she's ignored the instrument ever since he left out of anger towards him and resentment. Even the prestigious school Juilliard has been interested in Ronnie since she was young because of her abilities, and she just refuses to acknowledge them, refuses to go, again out of her anger and resentment towards her father. Steve is given an opportunity. We're not really told why at this point, but Steve, her father, is given an opportunity to reconnect with Ronnie as well as her brother when her mother, Kim, sends them to go spend the summer with him in Georgia. He's got a house right there on the beach, really nice. Now, Steve is a former Juilliard professor, which is part of where the desire for them to get Ronnie comes from. He used to teach there, and so obviously they took notice very early on at her abilities. So he's a former Juilliard professor and a concert pianist, living a quiet life in Wrightsville Beach, which is a small town where he grew up. Now, currently in his life, Steve is working on a stained glass window for a local church who lost theirs in a fire, which, according to the locals, if you talk to them, Steve had accidentally started. So he's doing this kind of as a way to pay the church back since he supposedly was responsible for the damage. Almost immediately after arriving to the beach, Ronnie bails. She begins to meet some of the local kids there, her age, including a girl named Blaze, her boyfriend Marcus, and Will, a popular boy who literally crashes into her during a volleyball game, spilling her strawberry shake all over her. One night at a campfire, through Blaze, Marcus tries to hit on her. Blaze sees this and thinks that Ronnie is trying to initiate the relationship and that Ronnie is the one flirting with her boyfriend when it's honestly the other way around. Angered by all this, Blaze decides to frame Ronnie for shoplifting. Now remember, she's a rebellious kid. She's actually gotten into trouble for shoplifting back in New York, where she comes from. And Blaze knows this because of the bond that they've created, so she uses that information against her. Upon returning to her dad's house after being arrested for shoplifting, she bails again. She wants no part of her dad. She's still mad. She ends up discovering a loggerhead sea turtle nest being attacked by raccoons just at the edge of the property there. She chases them away and stays there all night to protect the nest. This is the point where she meets Will again, as he is a volunteer for the local aquarium and has been sent out to look after the nest. After staying up all night together, protecting the eggs, she discovers that Will isn't what he was cracked up to be. He's not as dumb as she thought. She begins to develop feelings for him. The next day, Will takes Ronnie to the aquarium for a tour. When they leave the aquarium and return to the beach, Ashley, who is an ex of Will's, bumps into Ronnie and starts talking to her about the aquarium and did he do this? Did he do that? Did he do this? She tells Ronnie that this is one of Will's traditional dates. He does it for all the girls he's interested in, which of course pisses her off because she thought she was getting something special. Come to find out that this is like a regular play of his. When Ronnie sees Will next, they fight. Ronnie doesn't want to just be another notch in Will's belt, but he embraces her. They have a passionate kiss, trying to prove his feelings for her. At this point, Marcus breaks up with Blaze because he wants Ronnie too. And he tries to make a scene at Will's sister's wedding, even going as far as to fight Will. And Will has to fight Marcus to defend Ronnie's honor. After all this, now is the part where Ronnie starts to hear the rumors around town about her dad and burning down the church. She goes to Will for comfort in the situation, but Will knows the truth. Will's friend, Scott, is the one who set fire to the church. Will is now overcome with guilt. He's trying to figure out what he's going to do in the situation because he doesn't want to betray Scott, but he likes Ronnie. So Will goes to Steve. Will apologizes. Ronnie walks in and hears everything going on. Flips, runs out again. Will chases her down. They have an argument and a breakup. For the rest of the summer, Will and Ronnie kind of keep their distance. She's done with him. He still likes her, but he's giving her her space. Jonah goes back to New York with his mom. Ronnie stays behind and takes care of her dad, who over the course of this period of time, since the discovery of Will's involvement in the fire, Ronnie's learned that her father is terminally ill. Now she feels like an ass for the way she's treated him. So she wants to stay with him, really give this reconnection a try, and try to regain some of the time with her dad that she's lost in these 3+ years since the divorce, that she's been pissed at him. So she begins working on a composition that he had started, appropriately entitled For Ronnie. After losing the steadiness of his hands due to illness, so he can't play anymore. So she sits down at the piano and she begins trying to finish this piece that he started writing. She finishes playing and writing the song, and just as she finishes, he passes away, laying there right on the couch. So the symbolism here being that once the song was finished, his time was done. His final gift to her wasn't just the song, but giving her the gift of playing again, finding that spark for her. We go to the funeral, and at the funeral, Ronnie stands up to make a speech. She's overcome with emotion. Her little brother is in the audience crying. Her mom is distraught, even though they're no longer together. Her mom is still, hurt. Ronnie says that words can't show how wonderful her father was. So she goes to the piano to sit down and she begins to play. She's getting ready to play this piece that they wrote together. Before she can start playing, sunlight shines through the stained glass window, the same one that her dad had redone for the church. Ronnie remembers a conversation she overheard between her father and her little brother. And her father had told him, Steve had told her little brother, that whenever light shines through that window, that's me. That's me peeking in, checking on things. She remembers hearing him say this. When the sunlight starts to shine through the window, she smiles and says, "Hi, Daddy." Plays the piece. After the funeral is over, the townspeople offer their condolences, their kind words, their sympathies. Her and Blaze make up as friends because Blaze has now seen Marcus for who he really is and let him go. And then Will walks up. He tells her how much he enjoyed the song and that he knows that her father enjoyed it also. The next day, Ronnie's packing up in the beach house to go back to New York because there's nothing for her to stay there for. She's decided now to go ahead and attend Juilliard as a tribute to her father after resenting it for so long and being angry. Now she wants to go there to kind of continue on his legacy and continue the gift that she has. And she sees Will standing outside. So she goes ahead, goes up to him, sees him, and Will apologizes for everything from spilling the strawberry shake to doing stuff with her that he did with other girls to being a part of the shenanigans at the church, which her father was blamed for by the townsfolk. He apologizes for everything. She accepts the apology. Then Will springs the surprise on her. He tells her that he's going to go and transfer to Columbia University in New York to be with her. And they share another passionate kiss. and the movie ends. So the movie ends now with him in New York at Columbia, her in New York at Juilliard. We assume to live happily ever after, much as people do in these type of movies. You know, I read online. Let me go ahead and throw this up here real quick. I know it's super late, but whatever. I read online a lot of people say negative things about this movie. And granted, this was the first time I had seen it, but I didn't think it was that bad. By no means will I sit here and say that, oh, I'm a Nicholas Sparks fan. Oh, I'm a huge Miley Cyrus fan. No. My opinion, she's gone batshit crazy the last few years. So, no, I'm not a huge fan of hers. But this movie was made at a time when she pretty much ruled the world. Hannah Montana was still a huge success on Disney. It's getting ready to go into its final season. Party in the USA was a big hit at this time. So Miley Cyrus really couldn't do no wrong. And I thought that she gave a really good performance in the role. When she was supposed to be rebellious and angry and resentful, I felt it from her. When she had her turn towards the end and started to be a little bit sweeter, I could feel it. I could feel the emotion she was conveying. When she was in love with Will and angry at Will, I could feel it. So I thought she did a really good job conveying the emotions that she tried to portray. Liam Hemsworth, obviously nowhere near as successful as his brother, Chris Thor Hemsworth. But alas, this was the movie where he met Miley. They had a very long on and off again relationship that even at one point they were married and then divorced. But I thought that he did a really good job in his role. I thought Greg Kinnear was solid. I thought that Kelly Preston did a good job. So all the major players in here I thought really delivered. So I'm not really sure why the hatred for this film. That being said, I'm going to give this film, I'm going to give this film kind of a middle of the road, 3 stars out of 5. I didn't think it was great. I wouldn't put it on the pedestal that I would put some romantic comedies. But I definitely didn't think it was horrible. I don't think it deserves to be any lower than 3 stars. So I feel 3 stars is a nice little middle of the road rating there for it. What do you guys think? Let me know. Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. As always, let's try to get those hashtags out there on social media. Hashtag Casa D18 Studios. Hashtag Renegades Reviews. Hashtag Renegade Returns. And of course, the ever popular hashtag Shenanigans. We interrupt this episode of Renegades Reviews for an important announcement about
merchandising.
Merchandising? What's that?
Merchandising. Come, I'll show you. Merchandising, where the real money's made.
Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network for all the t-shirts you see here from the West Coast professor, Jeff Meacham himself. You can get shirts for the Jeff Meacham Network, Talk Wrestling, as well as the red and gold Meachamania shirts. And while you're there, don't forget to get your shirts of the Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood, the Dads on Wrestling shirt, the Renegade JJ Williams, Statboy Sports Bar, and the hashtag StatboyApproved shirt. Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network and score your shirts today. Don't forget to do what the commercial said there. Get out there, support the Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood. Get you your Renegade JJ Williams shirt. Get you your Dad's Not Always on Wrestling shirt. Support Statboy Sports Bar. Statboy Sports Bar. Try saying that 5 times fast. Support Statboy's Sports Bar. Get you your Statboy Approved t-shirt. Get you your official shirt for the Jeff Meacham Network. Get you your official Meachamania shirt, because Meachamania is running wild, brother. Don't you forget it. Get you your Talk Wrestling shirt. Support us, one and all, over here on the Jeff Meacham Network / Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood side of things. Make sure you join us tomorrow right here on the Casa D18 Studios Network, right here on Renegades Reviews, when I discuss the film Bridesmaids. Should be a good one to indulge in. Starring Kristen Wiig, Maya Rudolph, Melissa McCarthy, Rebel Wilson, and many, many others. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel and Renegades Reviews. See you then.